Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, and we are back again with another episode of CEPTV Late Night Hype Live Edition. I am your hostess, LaShawn Smith, and I have your co-host here.
Hi, you guys.
Tin
It's your girl,
Carrot.
Tin Carrot.
Yes, and we are here back at again with another amazing episode. And we have a good show tonight.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking to George Legrand, who is the owner of Warrior Style Films. He is an author. He is he's a clothier, has a clothing line and a podcast. So we will be learning a lot about him tonight. So hang with us tonight. And we are here at the 190 studio tonight, of course, with Tin Carrot. And we both want to welcome you all to CEPTV, which is Creatives, Entertainers, and Entrepreneurs at Play TV. At this time, if you are watching on social media, we ask that you share the live, hashtag share the live, start some watch parties, and let everybody know that we are here. We are representing for us all here, some independent African-American media here. So make sure you share, like, and share. And when you get a chance, head on over to www.mycep.tv. Take a look at the original collection of African-American original digital content, some great movies over there. And we'll be talking about some new things that we have uploaded to the website here recently, and all the things that are to come. So if you're so inclined, you can support us by becoming a sponsor or getting on the network, and we have a reach right now upwards of 100,000 and constantly growing. 10K has an announcement about her show and the stats, record-breaking stats for the CEPTV network, so we'll talk about that. But we also want to let you all know that you can go on and subscribe. It's $1.99, but guess what? If you enter the code quarantine in the checkout box, you're going to get 90 days for free. 90 days for free subscription. Great content, great movies, awesome plot lines for free for 90 days. So that's going to get you through these hard times. And of course, it's going to be until June. So make sure you get in. So what's up, Tin Carrot? What's going on today?
Nothing. I'm just happy to be here and just excited about this episode of CEPTV's Late Night Hype Live. I mean, who we have in our, the building today. I'm excited about all of that.
Absolutely.
Real excited about all of that.
So you broke some CEPTV records this week with your monthly tally of the viewership for Nope or Dope. Talk about that. What's going on?
Girl, that the Nope or Dope music retrospect is doing great. And this past month, literally 40K.
40,000.
It reached 40,000 people within the last month. I mean, and it's because of people like you all that are, getting on and, supporting the Nope or Dope music retrospect. And I want you all to continue to keep supporting the Nope or Dope music retrospect. And, just the things that I do on the Nope or Dope music retrospect, it's a little different from everyone else. I mean, because not only is it free to submit your music, but, I mean, I do you could have an artist spotlight, because yesterday we had Freaky of Trill Gang. He was in the artist spotlight hot seat yesterday. And then you could be a featured artist. You could do a business spotlight, or do a listening party, or you could do a Nope or Dope artist takeover. So those are some of the things that I'm offering with my show, as well as getting ready to offer other things with the show. Radio, advertisement, write-ups on different websites. I mean, just a number of things that'll be filtered through the Nope or Dope music retrospect. So, thank you guys for always, Mondays and Wednesdays. Make sure you all are tuning in to the Nope or Dope music retrospect on Nope or Dope through the Nope or Dope Facebook page, or on CEPTV's Facebook page, or on my Facebook page, or on mycep.tv. I mean, so it's streaming somewhere everywhere. So
YouTube, Periscope. We got to go on everywhere. And pretty soon, we're getting ready to make some changes, so we're probably going to be going even more places than that pretty
Absolutely.
soon. Yeah, so.
Matter of fact, if we don't even know what place, we're going to think of 30.
Yeah, exactly. We don't care where we're going. We just going. Exactly. So, So I just do want to say congratulations on that. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
That's an amazing accomplishment. And like she said, if it were not for listeners like you all, then that would not be possible. So thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. And we also have some, things can be really tough. And this has been a tough month for 10K. And we want to dedicate this show to her mom, because her mom passed away a year ago today. And as you can...
No. She's been gone almost 4 years, but today is her birthday.
Oh, okay.
Today is her birthday.
Okay. It's her mom's birthday. And she's been gone. And, we wanted to dedicate this show to her. And we wanted to, say some great things and talk about her life and her legacy and, all that good stuff.
Today she would have been 73. So, it's just a little bit different, because I'm used to like going and pop up on her or, be able to do things like that. And over these last few years, it'll be 4 years in July. But over these last few years, it's just been, hard and a little difficult when things go on. I know almost certain that some people know what happened about a week ago, and my mom probably would have been someone that, literally would have been there, but she wasn't there. So, but you were, thank you. But, so it's just been really, whatever. But I'm the oldest out of 2 children that she had. And, she is the person that has made me dealing with entertainment and music because she sung. She's an accomplished pianist. She went to, college on a scholarship, favored with Alcorn State University in Mississippi. So, she loved her Alcorn, them Braves, baby, ASU. But, and then, just to highlight it a little bit, she was the first black woman news anchor on WLOX on the Gulf Coast.
Wow.
But just right quick, just thinking of some funny stuff, like, and it just brings back memories, because I was talking to my niece today. And, back in the day, we smoked weed or whatever. And I'm just going to say, whatever. But, we used to always go, try not to do it in her face or do it, or, she kind of knew what we did, but I was always respectful about what I did. So I used to always go out the door, but go way off in the yard. So one day, she would never come outside. One day she came outside, and I'm out there with my little friends. We smoking the blunt. Here she comes, like literally coming all the way towards us. And I'm like, y'all hide that, put that up. She was like, I don't know what y'all doing. I done did that before. And we looking at her like she crazy. Then all of a sudden she like, give it here. And mind you, know what I'm saying? She's a big figurehead in the community. She taught school for 23 years. She worked for the city for like 12 years after that. So she was like, let me hit that. And, we gave it to her. And she hit it. She was like, y'all ain't doing nothing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, they were like, man, your mom's an OG. And I'm looking at them like, man, I'm embarrassed as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, just thinking back on some of those things and everything. But, yeah, just happy birthday, Mom.
Happy
birthday. And we miss you.
Absolutely. Well, I know she would have been a pleasure to meet. But now I see where you get all your ambition and talent from, because that's a huge first. That's a huge first that she did. And just, I could see all that with those accomplishments and those things that she did, that she definitely created an awesome person, which is you, and I appreciate you so much, and so glad that we crossed paths. Yeah, absolutely.
The best is yet to come.
Absolutely. Well, we dedicate this show to your mom, and what is her name? I'm sorry.
Her name was Josephine Donald, but they called her Josie.
Josie, okay, because I don't think I knew that yet. Okay, absolutely. Well, Josie, this is dedicated to you. Your legacy is intertwined with CEPTV and all that comes with it. So we thank you for planting those seeds in 10 Carat and allowing us to have, the ambition to go forward together with this mission. And so this one's for you. And so we got some past events that we had. Last week we got a chance to hang out. Well, not last week, but the week before last, we did a virtual show with Shay Star.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was an awesome show.
yeah, that was the live show. But before that, who was the last person on the podcast? We talked to Skinny Corleone and Talisha Williams, who debuted her video on CEPTV.
Yes.
So yeah, the podcast is still CEPTV late night, but it's the podcast version. So that was the actual last show. But Shay Star was the week before last, and then Skinny Corleone, who was also a part of the CEPTV network. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, please do. Everything's archived on CEPTV, and you can go there again. That's www.mycep.tv.
Oh yeah, but I meant to tell them too. The Nope or Dope, they can also, because Facebook mutes it and all of that, so they can always also go see the Nope or Dope on mycep.tv, and that show is in entirety, so it's not muted. So and I make sure I push that so they can go back and show their friends.
Right, and also it's in order. So if you were on the Nope or Dope and you remember the day that you were on there, and you want to go back and show your friends and family the day that you were on there, you can go back to the date that you were on there. Especially as we're coming into the era where she's going to be doing the artists' highlights on there. So that's
highlights, spotlights,
yep.
Right.
All that good stuff. And of course, voting is still going on for the 2020 Tri-City Hip Hop Awards. And
Absolutely.
when is the voting going to stop for that?
If I'm not mistaken, I think maybe the end of
April?
May.
End of May?
Is it the end of April or is it end of May?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Because it is June the 13th, so I know I have to give a chance to tally them up. So I know it's like, we probably have a little while, but y'all don't wait to vote. Just,
right.
I mean, go and vote now.
Yeah, go vote. And
you're nominated. I mean,
we're both nominated. Yep. You're nominated for Hustler of the Year.
Woo-hoo.
And CEPTV has been nominated for Podcast of the Year. So y'all make sure y'all check it out.
And then Hostess of the Year as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you can go to mylifeentertainment.com and you'll be able to look on the menu and see where the voting will take place. So make sure y'all check that out. And June the 13th is the date. It's going to be huge. Please.
Star-studded huge.
Huge.
Yes.
Like Dave Tolliver, Maurice Leggett,
Trill Gang.
Is Freaky gonna be there?
Freaky, Hen Dog, all of them from Trill Gang supposed to be coming. All of them are coming. So it's gonna be Javian from Sony Music Group. He's gonna be there. I mean, so it's gonna be like, and then there's some more people like we're cooking up right now. So like, it's gonna be
good.
Dope.
And guess what, guys? It is free. We have a gold carpet pre-show party. Maurice Leggett is gonna be headlining that.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have the award show that's going to have lots of performers then too. And again, this is a free event. So if you are in Atlanta, if you're in Birmingham, any of the surrounding cities, wherever you are, come on down and party with us.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna
for
have
real.
a great time.
We are going to turn up.
2020 Hip Hop Awards going to be off the chain.
Yes, we still have sponsorships available. Sponsor tables will get you your drinks and food included. So if you want to be free, you will sit in the free section and enjoy a free event. But if you want to turn up with us in the VIP section, then you can inquire with us. CEPTV2019@gmail.com. You can email me and I'll get you in touch with the right person. But in the meantime, check out www.mylifeentertainment.com, and then you can find out more information there as well. But
repeat it again. Wait a minute. Didn't you say that it's free, right?
It's a free event.
And normally award shows and all that, they don't be free.
Right.
So it's no excuse why you're not going to be in the building.
Right.
There's no excuse. Like I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward. Like,
and then if they want to see us clowning, like be somebody or not, then they better be in the building and they'll tell them what might happen.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you miss it, then sorry, because we are going to have a lot of fun.
Tough.
So, we got some shows coming up, guys. Like, we are really turning it up. And again, if you're under the sound of my voice and you are in the local area and you're looking for a way to make your own show and you would like to be on the CEPTV network, or if you're on your own network, you can get in touch with Golden Crown Media. We have studio space up here available and time slots available. we can create your own set if you have a budget, or we can use some pre-existing sets. And if you like the way CEPTV is handled, why don't you come on up here and get your own show? We can definitely help you out with that. So we are going to be dropping some more shows. We're going to have Focus Friday. We haven't decided on the name for that yet, but basically what it's going to do is highlight the top 10 songs on Nope or Dope for the month. Right. And then, or bi-weekly, we hadn't really etched that out yet. And then it's going to also have the top 5 movies and shows that are streaming on CEPTV. So if you have content on CEPTV, let me tell you this, like my brother Saeed tells everybody all the time. It doesn't matter what network you have your movie on. You still have to bring attention to it and have people and promote it yourself, because otherwise people won't really know it's there, because the networks can't, they don't really promote all how many ever million shows they have on there. You still have to do the work. So anybody that has content on CEPTV, continue to share your links, continue to promote, and do the work, put in the work, because that's what we're here for. We're here to stream your content. Great platform, all African American. We want more content. So you know how to get in touch with us. And if you go to the www.myceptv.tv website, then you could hit submit content and we'll get in touch with you. Big things coming. The Dave Tolliver Show, once the COVID-19 is lifted, will be coming to the CEPTV network. And then the one I'm really excited about, because we got some hot topics lined up. Getting your 10 Shine. So she's 10, I'm Shine. So getting your attention is coming. And the second week of May, I'm so excited to bring a daytime version of CEPTV Talk. So it's not the late night hype, because it's not late night. It's the original show that we originally came out with early 2019. You can see one of the first shows that we did on YouTube. So check that out. So without further delay, I did want to talk about the latest titles that we have. Scissors by Corey Davis. And then please go to CEPTV and check out the new Black Positive podcast. This young lady is awesome. She's, oh my God, like the information, like African American, Black people, whatever you want to call yourself, we are so behind in technology to the point where if we don't start teaching our children to code and get into this AI movement, what's going to happen is you're going to have people who are of a certain, situation programming these robots according to their thought process, and your thought process and even your features are going to be left out. She even mentioned something like, if the AI systems don't recognize Black features, it might classify a woman as a man because you don't look like the white archetype that they're using, or the archetypes that they're using. So it is important to get your children involved in STEM. It is important to get your children involved in coding. There's free coding classes like all day long. I mean, so we're going to talk about that on another show later, because I can go all day. But please check out the Black Positive podcast. When I seen that show, it absolutely blew my mind, and it was only 7 minutes long, but a lot of great information. So please check that out. Again, did you have anything else?
Just make sure that y'all are subscribing to mycep.tv and are sharing this live right now. That's all.
Yes.
That is all.
Yes. And if you're interested, once again, to submit, www.mycep.tv and just hit submit content. Tonight's show, we're going to get into this thing because we are so excited. We've been talking behind the scenes to George. He's awesome. Sure, he's funny. Like, we've been in here rolling, cutting up, and talking politics, talking just crazy stuff. Another Ohioan in the house, OH. Oh, okay. I.O. he's not a Buckeye fan, but another Ohioan in the house. So we have a lot of stuff in common, but he has a lot of stuff coming out. So I'm not going to give it away. We're going to bring him on. But first, before we do that, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors who make this happen. And, yeah, we're going to do that. And when we come back, we'll be talking to George Legrand of Warrior Style Films. Do not go away.
Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back.
We'll be back. CEPTV Late Night Hype Live is currently averaging over 1,500 views per show. We do stream live and we are growing. We air on multiple platforms, so if you would like to become one of our sponsors, please send an email to ceptv2019@gmail.com for more information. Break free from chemicals, serums, conditioners, and shampoo with Doxa. Doxa 123 system is as easy as it sounds. It's not just a product, it's a lifestyle. Go to www.thedoxagene.com to begin your Doxa journey. urbanradio.com. Check them out for the best in genres from soul, smooth R&B, gospel, hip-hop, and you can even check out the artists from the Nope or Dope show on the new Music Insight station. That's urbanradio.com. If you're into tech and love to support Black business, check out Vibes International for sleek, functional, and affordable earbuds, headphones, merchandise, and more. CEPTV fans will get to enjoy a 30% off discount by simply entering CEPTV at checkout. Head on over to internationalvibes.com. That's international, VIBEZ.com. Join the BOB Rewards Club with comprehensive business development solutions that work for both consumers as well as entrepreneurs. List your business free in the directory, get Black-owned business discounts, and earn points towards free gifts, exclusive online perks, and more, starting at $10 per year. Visit bobrewards.club. Oh, hey, welcome back. We are back with our guest, our wonderful guest who is in the building, came all the way from, where you come from?
Atlanta.
How long of a drive is that?
I think it was like 46 minutes.
Okay, not too bad. We have George Legrand hanging out in here with us in the studio, and we're going to talk about what he has going on. So first of all, introduce yourself to the CEPTV audience. Who is George Legrand?
Oh, man. I'm an author, a podcaster, a producer of media content. I have an apparel line. I do a whole lot. What else do I do? And I invented a game, card game.
Okay.
I don't really promote it because I've been meaning to do a commercial and whole marketing campaign for it. So but yeah, just to add to one of the many things that I do, a lot of stuff.
Okay. So with the game now, you know I'm interested in the game because I didn't know about that, and now I do. So I have to ask you about the game. Like, do you think you'll do like a Kickstarter for it eventually or something like that, maybe?
Oh, I've been thinking about it. I ain't really familiar with Kickstarter. What's that?
So basically, like, you pitch to the world about how cool your game is, and people will give you money to help fund it.
It's like Indiegogo? Or...
Yes, it's another version of Indiegogo. They're both equal. Like, sometimes people do both.
I'm gonna have to get on that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So Instagram is where we met, and I found you to be a pretty straightforward kind of guy. You're a straight shooter. Like, what early influences got you cultivated to be so strong-minded and resolute in your belief system?
My family. Growing up, like, immediate family and my extended family. Like, we just direct. Like, we don't hold no punches. If it needs to be said, we say it. So with the podcast, I kind of I take that approach. Like, I'm not really adjusted to this age of sensitivity and tiptoeing on eggshells. Basically just being straight, direct, blunt, sometimes crass. Not politically correct, because like I told a lady, I think I was stopped one day. I was having a conversation with a friend, and this lady was ear hustling. She was like, "Oh, you're not being politically correct." And I'm like, "I'm not a politician."
Right.
Like, I would only be politically correct if I was trying to be political, but this is a personal conversation, and I probably was talking too loud. So that's my whole thing: just being direct, blunt, and saying what needs to be said.
And people seem to like get their feathers ruffled, but that's okay. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. Now, in your bio that you sent me, you put on there, and sometimes I look at things that people put because why did you put that you dropped out of college? Like, why was that an important detail to add, and what led up to that?
I don't know. This is part of my bio, but
Okay.
When people see my work, they assume like you had to have some schooling or some formal education to actually do what it is that you do, and I'm an artist, so like from drawing to painting to writing, everything was self-taught, even from video editing to how I even shoot a lot of my scenes. All that was self-taught because I believe that while you can go to school to learn stuff, the first guy that did something, he didn't go to school, so he was self-taught, and you get the best result because you're actually using your own intuition to do something as opposed to somebody's directive to do something. So.
Right. Okay. That's a good reason. Do you think you will ever go back to school to refine any of those skills, or maybe pick up something that you may not? Because I guess what I find is I'm the same way. Like, I taught myself Sony Vegas and, all these different skill sets. But sometimes it's possible that when you go to school, you don't have to make so many mistakes because there's a set curriculum. So with that being said, do you ever think that you might go back to school, or do you find it easier to just do independent research and study and like just dig into directly to what you want? Like, what's your stance on that?
No, I probably won't go back to school.
Okay.
Not because it'd be nice. I think I have nothing against education. I just don't want to be more in debt than I'm already, right? Like, so, like, I went to school combined with both colleges, probably 2 years, and I owe $40,000. What? 44,000. If I go back to school, I have a real problem with owing money. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like to owe people. I don't like to pay back money, which is why I don't borrow money from friends or family, because I like to spend money on things that can make me money. If I'm sitting and I'm owing people money, I'm always going to be behind. Mm-hmm. So probably not go back to school. Plus, on top of all that, technology is making it where you don't have to really go to a school, or even online colleges. You could learn it online. Why pay $40,000 a year? Learn it for free.
Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. So your work and family balance, I understand that you were kind of affected by the COVID. So it's kind of like everybody else. The COVID has kind of like set everybody back on their projects and goals and stuff like that. But before COVID, like, how were you managing your work life and then doing the films and things of that nature? How was that pre-COVID?
I tend to, like, my full-time job was a flexible security job where I could actually, they had, like, it was sweet. Mm-hmm. Like, I think this is like a gift from God. And then the COVID had to come around and just destroy all that. But they had it where you could actually tap the app, pick the days you wanted to work, accept the shifts. So I could literally, like, work a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and have the weekend free to do what it is that I do. And then I do my driving gigs. I drive around. I ain't gonna say the name of the companies because my podcast is a little slanderous, and I don't need to be getting fired. But yeah, I do these driving gigs, and it kind of helps me. Like, I can really work when I want to. So I was able to basically set my schedule, work when nothing's going on, like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Sunday. And then, kick it on Friday and Saturday, but kind of get my work done in the daytime. Along with writing my book. Like, I'm writing a third book, and you need that flexibility to actually sit and I wish I could get paid for writing, because I would do that for 8 hours, clock out, pick up a check, and just a formal job or a set schedule was just, it wasn't helping. Like I couldn't, like with my second book, I literally quit a job so I could have more free time and have more flexibility. Yeah, the drawback is you make less money, but I reason it like this. Like I told a friend, I'd rather make less money working for somebody else and have more of my time.
Right.
That way I can work, saying, for myself more and make money. Because you go to a job, like, it's cool. You get a check and you try to excel and move up. But they only going to pay you as much as they want to pay you. Mm-hmm. So,
So when you're doing it on your own. So are your books, and you say you don't get paid to write, but are your books a source of income? Are you getting any royalties or anything like that from your 2 books that you have out now?
I have. The second book, I actually didn't do any marketing. Like the first one, I ran Instagram ads, Facebook ads. I put up posters around the city. I printed out flyers. When Michelle Obama wrote her book and put it in the stores, I like ambushed her book in Barnes and Nobles, like put flyers in the inside of her book.
That's guerrilla marketing right there.
It got me some sales. I can't even lie. Like I was literally waking up to like, who bought a book? I called people like, did you buy a book? People know me was like, nah, I ain't buy a book. And so I got books out there. I'm like, they saw it. They must have been curious, and they not only like, a few people have actually read pages on Kindle because I can track that. Somebody actually bought the whole book on Kindle, but a lot of people like they read past the 3rd chapter, and after the 3rd chapter, if you got a Kindle account, every page I get paid 46 cents.
I did not know that.
People was just reading along. They must have been liking what they was reading because I was getting some money. But the second book, I didn't really do any marketing. I think I got too preoccupied with shooting film clips for my trailer web series, and then I was trying to focus on my apparel. I don't know how much more I'm gonna do that. I like the clothing, but it's a hard racket.
Is it? Okay. So of course I definitely want to get into that, because after the break, then we want to talk about more about the podcast booking and the clothing line. But I want to spend some time on the film. So you have a very unique style. Like when I seen you on Instagram and I seen like your content and the way that you did, I was like, dang, I've never seen anything like this before. Like the way you grade, all the way from the way you grade your film to the type of costumes that you use and the way that you use them, and the violence. Like, I mean, you can't discount that. Tell us about Warrior Style Films, how you came up with that name, and just, past, present, and future, like what is going to be the development.
Okay. Well, so the web series is actually based off of a comic book that I drew, like, I guess a makeshift comic book. I used to draw them when I was like in high school and in middle school. And I think I have like about, I want to say, 10 or 11 of them, but total with the 25, 30 pages, it totals to about 129 pages. But they're like a series. So the different characters, they have their own comic book, so to speak. One of them is actually like, when I was like 17, I drew what I thought I would look like in my 30s, like all buff and long hair. I got long hair, but it was like super long when I was 17. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have long hair, and I'm gonna be buff. And I drew the comic book character like modeled after what I thought I would be. Like I was a badass when I was 17. Like I have a problem with authority, but back then I didn't listen to nothing. I didn't listen to my mom, dad, the police, teachers. So I bet the character's actually modeled after like what I thought I'd be, like a badass, whatever, with superpowers and stuff. And one day I was talking with a friend of mine, our cousin, and he was like, yeah, you don't draw anymore. And I'm like, nah, ever since I dropped out of college, I really don't have time to like sit down and draw a comic book. He's like, man, what happened to that comic book that you drew when we were younger? I was like, I don't know, somewhere in the, like it was in a box somewhere. And he's like, you know what? You bought a camera. Why don't you just make that like a live action? And I was like, I don't know about, like, I don't know how to film. I was like, I don't know nothing. He's like, well, I mean, you learn how to be a line cook with YouTube, right? So just watch some tutorials. So I watched a couple tutorials from like what kind of camera, microphones. Then I watched tutorials on editing, how to grade stuff, how to color exposure. Like I literally sat and would watch tutorial videos for like 4 or 5 hours on end. So after I felt like I had like I knew what I was doing somewhat, I went out and bought a camera, then I bought a microphone, then I bought lenses, and then I was just like, I bought lights, and I bought the costumes and stuff. And that's the funny thing. When I bought the costumes and the prop guns, I was nervous. I didn't take them out the box for like 2 months. And then I bought some bulletproof vests, but they're fake.
Okay.
And I literally, most of the stuff was still either in the plastic or the box. And I went back around to my cousin's house probably like a month later after I bought the bulk of the costumes and the prop guns. He was like, so, like, you doing it? And I'm like, nah, I didn't even take the stuff out the box. He's like, man, you need to do that. So I couldn't get anybody to participate with the clips because I have characters, but I couldn't get people casted or... So another friend of mine was just like, why don't you just shoot clips with the main character, just you? So once I started doing that, people start seeing that, they start like being more curious. My cousin actually started like becoming involved. It became less of a struggle to get people to participate. So
Sometimes people have to see things materialize before they'll really believe in it. Like, unfortunately, like they don't understand the vision, so they have to see something first before they jump on board.
because they think you're talking.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about it, and then because people hear talkers all the time, they're like, he just talking. But yeah, that's the conceptualization of like how I even came about doing it. And there's more to come. Like this particular character actually has like offshoots of other characters.
What's his name?
Cypress Hilton. I actually made that name up. I like Cyprus for some reason. I think it's a place in the Middle East. And then I was driving, doing this, working for some company. I ain't gonna shit on them, but I was working for this company, and I seen this name Hilton on one of the street signs, and I was like, so I Googled it and looked it up, make sure it wasn't no slave master last name, and it wasn't. And so I gave the character a name because in the comic book he never had a name. Like I knew it was me, so I was just like, well, we're just gonna call him G. But then when I ran a couple ideas past my sister about it, she was like, you don't want to name the character after you. Like, it's a comic book character. Give him a fake name. So I like literally thought about a bunch of names, and those two names actually, I was like, I like that because it sounds like something that's not. Like, it's not associated with me. Like, and it just sounds tough.
Yeah, it does.
I did have to change the character's MO. Like, in the comic book, he was like a rebel. It's in dystopic future where he's literally trying to, like, fighting to survive.
Like Mad Max type of ordeal.
Basically, but I don't have the money or the budget, so I had to readjust it.
Okay.
Plus, my cousin was like, in the comic book, it makes sense. He wears a bulletproof vest all the time. But in real life, that wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
So he was like, you got to make, like, he was like, you wrote 2 books, so you know about plot lines. You got to make it, like, make sense. Why does he always have the vest on? Like, why is he always dressed up in this costume type of... And so the best thing, like, we sat in for about an hour and a half, and he was just like, just make him a cop. And so I was like, okay, that makes more sense because he's doing a bunch of action. Can't be walking around with a vest. He going down the street to a coffee shop. But if he's a cop, it makes sense.
Okay.
So I just revised a few things. Still didn't get a few characters how I wanted them, but maybe with a bigger budget, we'd probably redo it, revamp it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you got to start somewhere, and it's going. So how did you meet some of the people that you did have cast? I seen the young lady that you have in the Liquid City.
Yeah.
And the gentleman. And how many more people do you have? Because I know those are just like little snippets that you've been showing.
Well, I'm needing 2 more people.
Casting call, y'all. Casting call.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? I signed up for Backstage. They a little too. Yeah, I got something in mind for you. I signed up for Backstage. I like their setup, but they might be a little too expensive for what they don't do.
I have actors in my network. All we have to do is post on see. I have so many people that act.
Oh,
in my
see,
network.
half the battle's done right there.
Yeah, like people who see this, like Miss Laura Poindexter. She's a great actress. She has a lot of actors and actresses in her network. So come on, y'all. We need some volunteers. Come on, let's make this happen.
You gotta be cute though too. Like, you gotta put that disclaimer out because I was running ads on Craigslist, and I'm not vain, right? I love everybody, every shade, every size, right? However, for a comic book, I guess comic book adaptation, live action, like web series, I had to explain to a friend of mine. She was like, "Well, you had some girls that wasn't, like, some overweight girls, but they're cute." I'm like, "Yeah, but Peter Parker didn't save Mary Jane, and she was 350 pounds. Like, you got to go with a aesthetic motif."
Yeah.
So, just putting that. But I got other stuff. I actually wrote 7 more premises for like web series. So I have another one in the works. It's like a Tales from the Crypt, but a black version.
Okay.
Not Tales from the Hood because that was a movie.
Right.
I have another one that's a little, basically a biopic, but kind of some exaggerated elements to it. Where me and my friend, when we was in college, we was broke and hustling and doing all types of crazy stuff to make money. And so it's based off of our life. I actually try to get him to be more involved, but he like, yo, if I ain't making no money, I'm not gonna do it. So
Oh, dang.
I might have to get a friend to actually play him, or get an actor to play him.
Hey,
So
we ain't got to the money making part yet. Come on, who's this? Your friend or your cousin?
this is my friend.
Oh,
I'm like,
gee
look, we
whiz.
was struggling. Like, me and you can play the characters, and you ain't got to do it like it's not a job. Just do it when you're free. But some people are dead set on working jobs because they know at the end of the week or 2 weeks they
That
have their
money's
check.
coming. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to roll the dice, man. 7-Eleven.
Right. Exactly. Like, come on, y'all. So, what made you pick that style? Like, there's so many styles of filmmaking that you could have chose. Like, I noticed like your colors are, they fall into a certain, like, it kind of looks like a dusky kind of like, is that to elicit a certain mood? And then of course you have the action, the fast-paced action and the violence and the blood and stuff like that, which I'm cool with all of that. So like, what made you adapt to that particular style?
Well, I use a camcorder. I was gonna get a DSLR camera. I've been shuffling my feet. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I got a camcorder probably 5 years ago, and you have to do a lot of trickery outside with bright lights. You get a real, I think it's like 1080p, so it's not even a 2K lens camera, but outside bright lights, bright sunlight, you get a real crisp look. So the daytime scenes look good. The nighttime scenes, the grade of the lens is like horrible.
Okay, I hear the
gives you
Sony
real-
A3 is like the best for night.
Yeah, something like that. And I should have just got it when I had the opportunity, but I don't cry over spilled milk. But so at nighttime, it gives you that grainy look, or in like dim light or low light, it gives you like a grainy look. The gradient, I make it real exaggerated and like make the colors pop, kind of
To offset
take away,
it.
yeah, take away from the like, I guess, the pixelization of like clips I might shoot. Which I shot one scene, and it was like pitch black, and I had my light out, and it gave me a real crisp look. I haven't been able to
duplicated yet.
That might be the lack of schooling, right? It's a lack of schooling.
That's okay. You'll figure it out. So the first one, like, we have a clip, but it's gonna play at the very end of the show. Tell us about that clip and tell us, just give us like what the goal, like what is the goal of the accomplishment of the comic book. I mean, I know it's about, you visualizing yourself as what you would be, and then you changed it. Like, what do you want people to get from it when they watch it?
Well, aside from like recreating a comic book into live action, I wanted to actually start a trend of black creators making comic books and comic book movies or web series or TV shows based off of black people. It's not to say that there couldn't be any white characters, but all the black characters like Black Panther or Spawn or Blade or it's the one that comes to mind. Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. I think it's Luke Cage, yeah. Those are like black light characters. They're not really black characters.
Okay.
Like, they're basically the imagination of a white guy, what a black superhero would be like. Mm-hmm. So while I like all those, because I like Blade, I like Wesley Snipes, the job he did doing recreating Blade, like, that's not a real black guy. That's what a white dude would be if he was black. Spawn, same way. Like, I like Spawn. I like Todd McFarlane's comic book. I even like Michael J. White playing him in the 1997 film. But it's like, that's not how a black dude would be if he was a superhero.
Right. That's not the setup, the life setup, or anything remotely close to a true black experience. Like, I get that. I'm with you on that. So yeah. So this is the trend that you are setting by showing like real life circumstances. Now, how will this go over by the main character being a cop? Won't that kind of change his traditional black experience by him being a cop?
Nah. I mean, Ice-T played a cop on Law and Order.
But his script is written by, I mean, do you feel like his script is a true African American experience in a setup like that, or do you feel like that can also possibly be a white man's dream of a black man's experience?
Oh, that's a good one. That was a loaded question. All right, so I did think that. I was thinking that the other day, but how I drew the comics, he eventually, even with more production and more money and special effects or whatever, I probably could still keep him a cop, and later on further down the road, because I plan to actually, I have to retrace the whole comic, and I'll probably draw some more as I go along, because I need to brush up on my artwork. I haven't drawn anything in 7 years, so I have a way of actually like maneuvering away from that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's something to just say that I'm gonna get away from that, but starting off, this is sort of like my Batman Begins. Before all the costumes and gadgets, like he had a makeshift suit. He had to become what he was.
Genesis.
So this is like this is actually like the start of, and then eventually he'll have superpowers, but he's not a classic superhero. He's actually anti-hero, sort of like the Punisher.
I love it.
Starting off, I literally wanted to combine the two, like superhero element and the Punisher, like anti-hero. Like the Punisher isn't a good guy, but he's not a bad guy. He's like in between. Mm-hmm. I actually want to merge the two, minus the cape and the goofy costumes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So this is an origin story, is what you're telling us. This is an origin story.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you, you're going to leave it in the same universe? You're going to divide some universes off for us? Like maybe some, how sometimes you have an origin story, but if you get tired of that origin story, you might kind of rewrite it a little bit different later on down the line, or have a different adaptation of it when things, change for you, like maybe budgetary wise, or are you going to leave it the same?
Well, there will be introductions to other characters. And it will get weirder. Like now, like the first, if you watch like once I get done doing the editing for the first episode. When you see the first 5 episodes, it's gonna look like I'm not gonna say like the traditional cop web series or TV show, but it's gonna look like it's gonna be like more down to earth, like Batman Begins was. It wasn't like they didn't get eccentric with the Joker and the Bat costume and even the Batmobile until Batman Rises or Dark Knight Rises. This one is basically like that. It's down to earth, not too many special effects, with a bigger budget and more of a storyline. You'll start to see more exaggerated characters. You'll start to see better special effects. Because I plan to do that. Because I won't give a full detail, but his right arm, he has like he starts to be able to materialize fire out of his fist.
Whoa.
So that's coming, but this is like ground zero, and then everything's gonna build up to it, and then there'll be other characters to branch off, because I do have a couple people that are they're not famous, but they are actors. I do have a couple people in mind. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Like, I cannot wait. So are there, okay, I guess you kind of already really answered that, but are there any subliminal messages or themes that you want someone to kind of, maybe you answered that with the not being a white man's idea of a black man. Maybe that's the thing, but is there anything else that we can pull from it? Anything subliminal that you may kind of put in there? Is there anything, like if a younger person was watching, and you know what, I know a lot of people like, oh, well, people shouldn't watch blood and gore and stuff like that, but I mean, if you see something like that happen in real life, that's what you're gonna see. So, I mean, I understand we have to have these regulations and disclaimers and stuff like that, but is there anything subliminal that you kind of want to bring out in your films?
Well, with the I will say, yeah. So the anti-hero has a antagonist that wears a pig mask. Now in the comic books, they were actually pigs, and it was because of an experiment gone wrong for lack of a budget. I had to simplify it. So starting off, the guy wears a pig mask because, and I'm giving some of the plot away, but not too much. He wears a pig mask because, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. My main character is actually a cop trying to bust a drug dealer.
Okay.
But this is supposed to be a little bit beyond in the future, like the year 2042. So imagine something a little in the future, but not too out there, right? No flying cars. And he's trying to bust them for traditional drugs, right? Or designer drugs. But they're thinking that the drugs are in the same sense of like cocaine or heroin, but they're actually like body enhancement drugs. And I probably shouldn't be. But so it distorts the antagonist's face, so he wears a pig mask and then has it bonded to his face.
Dang.
So in the future episodes, there will be like, better special effects and stuff, and the people there will be. It won't just be a symbol for, because in the comic books, the actual opposite was actually in the comic books. The bad guys were actually the cops, and they were pigs. So it was kind of symbolism. But since the main character is a cop, I had to come up with a different reason why there's a pig.
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
But there will be cops that actually wear the mask, and there's a whole backstory behind that. But that's probably going to be like episode 6.
Okay. Well, we can't wait. Like that. I've never heard anything like that. That is totally awesome and original. That is going to be the bomb. So we are going to take a quick break and come back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the podcast, the book, and the clothing line. And of course, like I said, at the end of the show, we'll see the trailer after. You're going to have to hang around till after the credits, because we couldn't get it in there quick enough. But we'll be back after the break. More of George Legrand, who is the owner and CEO and the creator of Warrior Style Films. We'll be
My name is Jamal Burt, and I'm the owner and CEO of EBO Educational Services. We're a full-service tutoring and test prep company. We do everything from calculus to counting, from phonics to Shakespeare. We also are very big on SAT, ACT prep for college prep, ASVAB testing, and GED testing as well. Whatever has to do academics that you need to get through or get past, we help you through it.
I loved building relationships with students and helping kids just grow, learn that there's more to life than just keeping good grades, but it's about building who you are as a person.
One student to one tutor. We don't have a class or a small group of kids, so undivided attention is given to that one child.
I was a teacher for a while, and I was in the classroom seeing that these kids were not getting as much as they could possibly get, and they weren't learning in a way that was really getting to them and really reaching them. So after I left the classroom, I was actually going to leave education for a while because I got so disenchanted with the system. But I decided that in the meantime, so that I could find something else, let me just put a sign on the corner for tutoring. And the phone started ringing, and here it is 10 years later, and it hasn't stopped ringing since.
Soul of a Hero, Season 2. The action-packed web graphic novel series is back. Follow the continued adventures of Hell Yeah, a wisecracking anti-hero biker, and the bendy sensation Bombshell, a no-nonsense government agent, as they kick, punch, and fight their way through another action-packed season of 1970s exploitation kung fu action with a superhero kick. Soul of a Hero, Season 2. Now available at soulofahero.com.
Coming soon to CEPTV networks.
Yeah. I heard she was looking for butter. You can find her at 1007 Willow Road.
Okay, so butter is on the loose. So this means war. I need you outside, you two downstairs, and you two stay here with me. When you see butter, I need to know because that bitch has to die tonight.
Your reign is over. You're gonna leave this earth the same way my friend left this earth. Everything Butter told me about you, that shit ends today.
So the bitch Butter built on your already low self-esteem by boosting a false sense of confidence in you. Girl, y'all must have had a lot of fun together.
It ain't even about that. It's about revenge. Revenge for killing my best friend. So this false confidence that Butter instilled in me, yeah, it's real. The shit's very real.
You stupid ass, stinking ass fucking bitch. First of all, I would never let a bitch who makes money on her back defeat me. Secondly, I'm gonna take that hammer and I'm going to fuck you with it. And then I'm gonna stick it in your mouth and shoot you between those two eyes.
Remember all that shit you was talking about this hammer? This is for my best friend. Die, bitch!
Coming soon to CEPTV Networks.
So like I said one more time, give it up for from the streets to the stage.
Free money leg, nigga. Free money leg. Free money leg, nigga. I'm in this bitch going extra hard. You know your leg keep him an extra broad. Play a nigga like Mike Lowry. Got all these little fuck niggas trying to fire me. Heart froze, so I ain't got no feeling. We ain't parallel, so we ain't got no dealing. Just a straight up nigga on a straight up mission. He ain't fucking with me, I ain't fucking with you. Sign myself on cosign. Call myself a raid, now my time. Geeked out the miley with 3 hoes. They all naked, you know how they go. Camera on, this is stupid tape. If it ever leak, we get stupid cake. Shoot back, had to make it shake. My partner in the kitchen with 3 plates. I got the cushion, let burn some.
That's true. That could be. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are back. CEPTV Late Night Hype Live. I am your hostess, LaShawn Smith, and I am joined with joining me tonight is George Legrand, who is the owner and CEO and creator of Warrior Style Films. George is an artist and he has so many talents. So in the second half, we're definitely going to delve into some of his other talents, which is his book, clothing line, and podcast. So we just got finished talking a little bit about your book, your books, and you have a certain process that I want you to share with the audience in order to be able to get to your creative space. But first, tell me about the books, the titles, and how can we find them and all that good stuff. And then how do you get to that point where you're able to create?
All right. So I've written 2 books. My first book I started in 2013. That book actually took me 3 years to write. And that was because I was bullshitting. I was going out to drink in between, going on dates, working, life. I was trying to like do everything at the same time. I wasn't really like designating time to write. So I would write when I got a chance or when I felt like it. Then it took another 10 months to edit it, because editing is easy if you know what to look for. Mm-hmm. So I was like, while I'm good at writing, articulation, and like on paper I sound better. Use a lot of colloquialisms in my speech. But like editing is actually hard because you got to actually look for flaws in the stuff you wrote.
Right.
So you may like gloss over something if you're just reading it because you're reading it how you're thinking it, which is a different process. But I did that 4 times to the first book, and that book is Black Devil Blue Eyes. It's a crime love story. It's a love story,
okay,
but it's got elements of crime and I have to say elements of crime. That's pretty much it. But it's now the character is actually modeled like a model behind me, and certain elements from college, from the women I dated, to the jobs I might have wanted to have. I think the main character, he becomes a banker, for lack of better words. But he gets a prestigious job at a financial institution, something real high polished.
He's a hedge fund manager.
Like that.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of money. It falls out with an ex-girlfriend. She goes to prison. They reunite, and without giving out too many details, everything isn't how it seemed when they were together before. So he's thinking they're resuming a relationship that they had when they was in college, but things change, right? She's gone through some real serious issues that he doesn't know anything about. And it ends in tragedy. I figure I'd go like the tragedy route for the first book.
Okay.
The second book is called Gold Babies. I don't know how I came up with that. I think somebody might have called me Gold because I'm light skinned. And so I rattle around like titles in my head of books. Like I think of something, and then I try to come up with a title that describes it.
Okay.
So somebody might have, I think it might have been a friend of mine, called me Goldie or something because I was saying some pimp shit. And I don't know why, I just came up with Gold Babies. But I didn't want to write it. At first I started to write it as a pimp story. But I was like, nah, that's too cliche, especially for us being black. So I was like, how can I make this somewhat like that, but not like that? And I was like, you know what? I like sci-fi.
Okay.
So I made it a sci-fi, like a dystopic, like in the future. And because I wanted to keep that like pimpish element, he has a lot of women around him that do things for him. His girlfriend, a girl that he meets on their travel because they're trekking across the country, trying to get away from imprisoned Detroit. And I guess California is where all the elite live. It's beautiful. They see it on the hologram TV. So they try to track across country. And a black cat, a hoverlack.
Okay. You gotta have a Cadillac if you don't have a pimp story.
So that book actually took me. I was kind of like, I was still on fire from like finishing after I edited my first book the fourth time. Like as soon as I closed the laptop, I opened it back up. I started writing. It took me 3 months.
Okay.
And then, but the editing process took me 10 months.
Oh, dang.
Because it's tedious. Like
Yeah.
it's boring. After about the second time, you're tired of listening to your own words. You're like, it's close. But if you're a perfectionist like me, like, nah, I don't want to leave no stone unturned because, you know what I'm saying, I already have, as a black man, I got some things that's against me. If somebody sees a book and it has a whole bunch of grammatical errors and then the author is black, so I didn't want to give nobody a reason to be like, the book is subpar, and then having preconceived stereotypes like, oh, that's why this was a misspelling, or that sentence was grammatically incorrect, or so I kind of like mushed through it. It's brutal though, but after you could do anything after 5 cups of coffee.
I'm
five
sure.
cups of coffee.
And I heard a good trick is to read somebody else's book that's totally unrelated to the subject matter that you're writing, and then go back and read yours, because it'll help you kind of see with a different set of eyes. It's an exercise that I heard that sometimes can work, so I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. Not anybody in my realm, but I've heard that if you read somebody else's book, totally different subject matter, and then go back and read yours, it can kind of help you. So I don't know, maybe.
That can be true. I believe it. Because when I was writing my first one, I would, because I read all the time, and I was trying to switch it up from first person perspective to third person. But I noticed on certain chapters where it would need to be first person, I would kind of like drift off to third person. So I'd actually have to. That's why I had to like revise it like 4 times, because I read it the third time and I was like, ugh, it doesn't read right. It reads like it's not him actually. Like it would be parts where it have to be him telling, because first person they're telling what's going on. Third person, I would have to designate it for the second character, the main character's girlfriend, because I didn't want her telling the story. But I didn't want him telling the story because he's not around. So I had to actually make it where somebody's telling the story. And I kept kind of like blending the two. So I had to keep making revisions. The second book, I was like, you know what? They're just telling this third person. Somebody's looking down, telling all this shit.
Right,
I don't want the main character to be like, oh, I walked in this room. Or, no. It's gonna be God looking down, telling you the story. You know what I'm saying? And just to simplify it, I think I was doing too much with the first book. I was trying to write it like a movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's too complicated.
Okay. Now you said Black Devil Blue Eyes. You actually did do some promoting and some guerrilla marketing with that one. And Gold Babies, you didn't promote as much. So why the difference? Why not the push for equally for both?
Because I got tied up. I had to rebrand the clothing apparel line, come up with a whole new like logo for it. I had to revamp the website, and I didn't. And then I have a job, or I had a job at the time. I didn't have my focus. I just wrote the book, and I was like, all right, I'm done. And I plan to make it like a franchise. Like there's actually 2 more books that I'm actually a prequel of it, and then a sequel. And
to which one?
The Gold Babies.
Okay.
I'm actually working on the prequel to Black Devil Blue Eyes. It's called Hell in Harlem.
All right.
And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna make it a franchise, it's gonna be like 2 more installments. I'll just market it when I market all these. Like,
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? As a bundle, sort of like Harry Potter. Yeah, like if it was just one book, one telling, I probably would have put more emphasis, but since it's probably gonna be 2 more.
So Gold Babies is tied to Black Devil Blue Eyes?
No.
Oh. You're just gonna do it as a bundle, like your collection of books.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But there's actually a prequel. I'm actually working on a prequel to Black Devil Blue Eyes, and I haven't really decided if I want to do a sequel. But for Gold Babies, I am gonna write a prequel and then a sequel.
Okay, you did say that. Okay.
Because if you read it, you'll be like, well, okay, even though it's in the future, why does this happen? And I try to explain things, but I was like, you know what? I can actually make a prequel where I actually explain why things are how they are, and then the sequel because of what happens at the end of that book.
Okay, awesome.
And I do plan on making those films.
That would be great. So you have a lot of content to just get out there. So it's definitely going to be a great attribution to the film world to see stuff like this being developed. I mean, I can't wait to go find these. And tell everybody where they can find these books right now, because I'm definitely going to go as soon as I get home.
You can find them on Amazon. Just type in Black Devil Blue Eyes. Gold Babies, just type in Gold Babies, GOLDBABY''S. If that doesn't pop up, because I've had some problems with that, I don't know why. If you type in the title, just type in my name afterwards, George Legrand, it'll pop straight up.
Awesome.
I was trying to figure out why Amazon did that, but then they got like gold baby shoes, and gold candles, and I'm like...
So it crossed it into the sales stuff.
Yeah, so for some reason, I'm like... After you put all your information in for books and it goes live, you publish it. It's supposed to, like, you type in a title and like Black Devil Blue Eyes pops up because it's like an original sounding title. Gold Babies, they got like gold baby shoes or gold baby tiara. Like they got so much stuff that's has those words in it.
Right.
So I'm like,
but that's still an original title for a book, though. Like I've never heard anything remotely close to that, but I guess it's just like you said, a hot item.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made like gold baby dresses. Like
yeah,
you can buy a dress for a baby that's shiny gold. I was like, okay, they got me. I gotta up my search engine optimization or something. I don't know.
Okay, so I want to go into the clothing line because that's one thing that caught my eye when I started following you on Instagram and kind of, seeing how you navigate. I noticed that every single last one of your lives, every day of the week, you always had on that hat and that shirt or a shirt similar. Tell me about that logo that you have. And, you know, is that for the warrior style films, or is that just a separate entity altogether?
Separate. It actually was when I first started the clothing apparel. It's called Dope Garbs, right? So dope, garbs, another word for clothes, and everything was synonymous with like drug memorabilia.
Okay.
I got a shirt with the lean bottle, a couple shirts with some blunts. Like, it wasn't like to promote drug use, but it was just saying it's dope. Like, this stuff is dope, right?
Right.
Like actual dope. Like, so I was like what, 33, 32? And I'm 37 now, so just getting older. My sister was like, you might want to rebrand it because you can't really be, even with the images, I mean, they're all artistic. I either drew some of the stuff or did a bunch of like illustrations with certain images, and it just was young, and I didn't know if I wanted to keep up like marketing to young people. Like, maybe as I get older, I'm gonna get out of touch. Like, lean may not be popping 5 years from now. So I was like,
and you know somebody's going to take and flip the message, even though your intent is not to glorify drug use, but the fact that you know, the intention is, to me, is more where the truth lies. But any person can, you know, write some type of stupid article and just say, hey, this is a brand that promotes drugs, and then, you know what I'm saying? So is that why you say it kind of got young, or is that why your sister said you might want to rebrand? Or
well, it was both too. I kind of felt like even though like the imagery is like for the like rebellious teen or young 20-year-old, like, I wear the stuff, and one day I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I think I got a shirt that has like a money stack on it, and it says Dope Garbs, and the shirt looked dope. I'm 37. When I get 39, or I'm not gonna wear that shirt. I may wear it to the gym, but like going out, I'm not gonna wear that because it's not. I don't know. It's not. As you get older, you kind of mature. You got to kind of become not conservative, but you have to become a little bit more tactful,
cognitive, or yeah.
And so the image that I got right now, like,
I like that
crown with a rose. I got a tattoo that has a rose on it. So, and then the crown is just. I actually used to incorporate it in all my artwork. I paint a picture, I draw a crown at the small bottom of the page, or somewhere in the image, I draw a crown. I think now the crown has got popularized because everybody calling themselves king and queen.
Right.
That ain't why I did it. I just did it because it was like a signature.
Okay.
So one day I was asleep, and I seen an image that I hadn't drawn or painted something in years, and the image just came in my head. I woke up in the middle of the night. I drew it down, and then when I got up in the morning, I reworked on it, like scanned it in, you know, saying put it up in Illustrator, traced it, and this is what I came up with. And it looked exactly how I saw it in my mind when I was asleep.
And what is the name of this brand?
That's the same one. It's just a rebranding of the logo. Probably I was using different logos, like Dope Garbs going straight across with the money stack, or with the bottle of lean. I just did away with all the drug usage, and just came with something that was a little bit more elegant. Definitely
classy. I like it. Like, it caught my eye. I'm like, is that a crown with a rose? Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it. Really
and I
nice.
even took down some of the T-shirts. Now I got a lot of polos up.
Okay.
Something a little bit more refined.
Little grown man on you.
But I had to keep the hoodies because I like hoodies.
Everybody loves hoodies. Gotta have hoodies. Like, hoodies are, to me, because I'm cold nature, I can wear a hoodie all year round, so it don't matter for me. So that's cool. So I love to see the evolution. So it's great when you can start off with something and then recognize, like, okay, you know, I'm going into a new era in my life, so let's go ahead and bring everything else that I'm doing. That's beautiful. So do you have any that you kind of keep to commemorate, or maybe do you think like as your brand grows, you'll kind of maybe do it like a throwback series, like on your so many years anniversary, maybe bring them back as for, you know, nostalgia per se, maybe?
Some of the stuff some of the shirts I have that I started off with earlier designs, I kept them just for that. Eventually, when I can actually devote more attention to it, I'll probably have like a retro, I ain't gonna say retro department, but probably a retro page where it has all the old shirts. A lot more like, because a lot of the images were a lot like not toned down. This is actually a lot toned down.
Okay.
This will probably be the main motif of the brand.
Because a money stack will never really get old. Like everybody.
It won't. I actually kept that up.
Okay,
I was like,
yeah.
you know what, I'm not doing away with that one.
Yeah.
I'll probably bring back other images that I did. Just like for you said, like for nostalgia. When I have more attention to devote to it. That way I can actually market to certain, like, I can actually stretch the brand out. Right now, I'm just trying to sell a shirt.
Right.
Or a hoodie.
Okay.
Or a hat. So I had to make something that was kind of universal. Something that it didn't matter if he was 13 or 33 or 43. You'd be like, oh, that's nice. Not like, oh, that's for a young kid.
Right.
So then it's kind of like I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, obstruct myself.
Absolutely. So are these garments available now? And if so, where can we get them?
I mean, no, they are available. I do have a website, dopegarbs.com. Whenever this COVID-19 kind of like wears off, I guess manufacturing plants will be back open. Until then, it's kind of been stalled, suspended, I guess.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, we got a plan in place, so that's good. Good. So let's talk about the podcast. F Your Mother. How did we come up with that name?
I was at a bar and I was having a conversation with somebody. It was a white guy. I was having a conversation. I was in Seattle and I was visiting my sister. And when you go out, people always want to bait you into political conversations. So I gave my opinion. I thought I laid it out like I thought I laid out my position real like understandably. And the dude literally acted like I spoke another language. And after about 4 or 5 shots, that's what I said. I was like, yeah, fuck your mother.
It's the ultimate comeback.
Because like when you try to explain something like why police brutality is wrong, or why minorities need to be taken serious, and not to be like, why certain things are apprehending them in America, like oppression or discrimination or even misconstrued racism, right? It gets aggravating trying to talk to a dummy, like a person that's not, either for whatever reason, either they're not logical, they're not reasonable, they're just like flat out stupid or ignorant to the fact, and you lose your shit. So, or
dumb on purpose. Sometimes people will play like that, so it's kind of like an insult. To pretend like they don't understand what you're saying when, like you said, you were perfectly clear. So it's just, sometimes it's just another psychological tactic to try to make you feel stupid when it's really them that makes themselves look stupid to me. So
so I figure I use it as a tagline. Plus I like mob movies, and they say that.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, let me use that.
That works. Okay. So how are you going to bring all of this together? The podcast, the books, the films, the clothing line. How are we going to reconcile all of that?
Well, when I'm banking on the web series actually growing legs and actually mobilizing faster than probably anything, because it's the only thing that well, I ain't gonna say the only thing. It's one of the things that people pay close attention to. And eventually, I'm probably gonna collapse everything, combine it, and probably have just one page, like either on Instagram. I'm probably gonna do away with Facebook, and eventually just have the website where it's gonna be my multimedia company.
Okay.
So
That's
it'll
what I
be-
was wondering, if you're going to do like an enterprise project, like you have everything all under one umbrella.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, to like enterprise and have a multimedia like company. We do the web series. We'll be able to do. I actually have to start on the F Your Mother podcast show.
Yes.
Because people like the post on Instagram, and I get a lot of reception from videos. Not viral, I wish, but you know what I'm saying. You get like 2, 3, 4, 500 views and likes.
It's
That's like
crazy
4
because it
people.
only shows me that you get like 25, so it doesn't look popular, but you actually have some good views on there.
They keep playing this.
Ghost shadow banning is what it is.
I don't know what it is. Like they one post it'll sell just the views, then another post it'll show just the likes, and you be like, So I don't know what type of game they playing, but people like my video post and they're more receptive. Like they like to comment. They literally communicate a little bit more frequent. With the audio podcast, people listen to it. It's a hit and miss.
Okay. Yeah, I'm. It's like that with my blog talk. Like I don't even really know why I do it anymore. It's just.
I do. It's therapeutic. You know what? Like, you know what's crazy though? It's not to be slept on. Like people may not like. I use the Anchor app. I record on it. They put it on every platform like Google, iTunes, all that. As you build a bigger following on whatever social media platform you use, people trickle in and they become like, I literally been doing it 2 years. And there's a girl, she's been listening to me for 2 years.
Wow.
This other guy's been listening to me since I started. Like they just grow with you.
Right.
And they're even more receptive on Instagram. Like they see a video post and they're like, oh, you should talk about that. And I'm like, I do the Instagram post just to kind of like tie people over. Like,
right.
I may not have like since this whole coronavirus, I haven't had nothing to talk about but that.
Right.
So
it is dominating the airwaves.
Yeah. So I'm like, I tie people over with the post that gets attention, and eventually people, they get curious and say, you know what? He been posting these video posts, and at the bottom it always has where you can find it. So let me click on it, and then they go to it, and then. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people will be like, oh, that shit is funny you said on the video post. I'm like, you think that's funny? You could listen to 46 minutes or something.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna bore you. I get straight to it. Like I did an episode where I was talking about, because I got like the fuck work saga, where I talk about my shitty job, your shitty job, or shitty jobs in general. And I think it was a UPS truck got jacked in Miami, and the UPS guy got killed. I was like, yo, like, that's a shitty job, because he was trying to deliver packages that got blasted.
Right.
For $17 an hour, you don't make enough money for a bullet in the ass.
Right.
So then I did another episode talking about gun violence, and I'm like, people always want to talk about black people, but black people would shoot a nigga that they got a problem with, or he owe money, right? Like it might be a dude coming outside, just bought a pack of cigarettes, he gets shot in the kneecap and fall the fuck out.
Right.
Old grandma get clipped, little kid get grazed, which isn't funny.
Right.
But I was being comical.
Yeah, I get it.
And like episodes like that, people literally will DM me like, that shit was hilarious.
Exactly. It's one you put on there. Oh gosh, it's one of the latest ones you put on. But we got to get out of here. I tell you what, I've had so much fun. We're going to have to do a part 2. And I hope that you continue to rock with us at CEPTV, because we definitely want to bring more of your content over, because you have the edginess that we really love. And please tell everybody real quick how they can get in touch with you, your Instagram call handles and everything like that, and anything else you want to say before we get out of here.
Yeah, with my books, if you'd like to check them out, they're on Amazon, or you can go to on Instagram, Ivory Tower Publishing. If you want to check out the podcast, that's F Your Mother, F_YAMOTHA. If you want to check out the film work, doing the web series, it'll be on CEPTV. That's Warrior Styles Films. I think it's Warrior Style Film Entertainment, but the username is Warrior Style Films. So just type that in, and you want to get some of this hot apparel, right? Go to dopegarbs.com, DOPEGARBBS. I think that's it.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. And everybody, so make sure you catch us next Tuesday. I don't know who the guest is going to be yet for the podcast show, but next Thursday we are going to be talking to Jamal Scott, who has a movie currently on CEPTV that is called Kings, and it is about a very new cop's experience with his first beat, and it's very dramatic. So please make sure you go check that out, and we will be talking to him about what he's doing in the independent filmmaker world and all the great stuff he is doing as well. Again, our guest George Legrand has been awesome. Please make sure you support, like, and share this episode, and support, like, and share his brand. We will be doing a lot of things in the future together. So thank you all so much for joining us, and y'all have a great night. Good night.
Yeah.
That was the wrong dang on logo.